Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having good luck with your gardening and all of your projects. And without further ado, let's get to today's project. And what on earth have I been up to? I haven't made any videos in a long time. Well, I had a lot of things going on here. Mostly it had to do with that. We've had record rains here, so there's none of that now. It's over with. So I haven't been able to do any of my welding projects outside because every time I set the welder up, we get record rain. So I think we're done with that. And I finished the custom-made fence for my father-in-law. So there's actually two panels here. You probably can't see the other one underneath it, but there are two. They're all done. We capped up the ends on them. That's going to be the top, so water doesn't go down into this pipe, this vertical pipe. Probably gonna wire brush all these and get them looking like this again. Because of all the rain, we've got a little bit of rust, surface rust on these. And oh my goodness, I must have used 20 pounds of welding wire on these. So each one of these has two 1-inch welds going on it. I don't know how many that is. That's got to be 500 of them or so per panel. It takes about 6 to 8 hours to make one of these. These panels are 6 feet tall and 16 feet wide, and there's 4 of them. And the cattle panel, well, this isn't really cattle panel, it's like hog panel or hardware panel. They come in 5 foot by 16 foot sections. So we had to take one and cut it up and add another foot to the top of it, and then weld it all back together. It's hard to tell because it's pretty uniform. And we stretched this stuff out with some C-clamps, so you can actually, I can walk on this and my foot is not touching the ground. So they're pretty tight. Pretty tight. And some of these had to be pieced together. If you look at this one right here, there's a seam in it right here. We'll clean that weld off. I don't think we're gonna paint them. We're gonna leave that to them. They can decide what they want to do there. And how we're going to attach these to the ground, we've got these legs here. So 2 of the panels will get legs, and then the other 2 will hook on to the 2 panels that are mounted to the ground. So that portion with the square piece at the bottom there, that will go in the ground and be covered in concrete, and it will go in the ground about 2 feet, give or take. We depending on how much concrete we're going to use. And then this was kind of an experiment, so don't look too close. We cut all the corners off down to about 12 inches, and then we welded it back together and ground it down flat. Now this will fit inside like this. I'm not going to push it in all the way because it has to be pounded in there because it's a tight fit, but something like that. Can't do it with one hand. I probably can't see it on the camera because I'm not watching. So that'll fit inside there. We'll hammer these in with a sledgehammer. And these will be the legs for the panels. So I'm not going to put them in until we get them over to Mom and Dad's house, because they're going to be too wide for the trailer. They're 6 feet right now, and if I stick those on there, they'll be 8 feet wide. And I don't want that sticking out into the road to rip someone's mirror off. But this is all 2-inch square box tubing, 16 feet long, 6 feet tall, and there's 4 of these, so it's like 62 feet length, something like that, give or take. 64 feet, there we go, I can math. And then we welded all these together and ground them down flat. Probably didn't need to grind these down on the back side, but I needed to do that in order to get the mesh flat on there. Even though now that I'm looking at it, the weld is right here, and it wouldn't have been touching anything to begin with. So I wasted my time grinding those off. That's okay. Got our trusty welder. Got our supervising dog. Abby's on the lookout, watching. And we've got lots of greenery growing around here. Everything's green. There's lots of grass growing. The mountains are green. Yeah, it was a wet monsoon. We had last week we had a sort of a scare. They were talking about us getting possibly 10 or more inches over the course of a couple days, but that never happened. show you what I was doing to prepare for that. It's interesting. When you prepare for something, it's usually not that bad. But then if you don't prepare for it, it's worse than you can imagine. So we do a lot of berms and swales out here in some of the heavier water flowing areas in these big washes. Some of these washes are 100+ feet wide. So I build up these great big berms. And sorry guys, this is just an overview. I have been doing things here, just haven't been filming. So we've got these monster berms down here. These ones aren't quite as big as the ones down on the west side of the property. This is all clay. It's about 2 feet tall, 3.5, 4 feet wide. It goes all the way around down there. So the water will come in from up there and it'll fill this whole area in. And then instead of going down and washing out the neighbors' roads, it stays here on the property and soaks into the ground, helping our ecosystem. And then I'll show you what I did down on the bottom on the west side. And we had 0 issues with solar all summer, most of the year actually. Everything's been working perfectly. I've been running the freeze dryer 24/7. We've got at least 3 heaters that run all night long. 2 of them are mini splits, so they don't use that much power. And one's an inductive heater, which does use a lot of power, but our system is so big that it doesn't really matter. I think we had 4 days of dark skies, and after that, the 4th day, I checked the batteries in the morning and they were at 84%. So if you're gonna build solar, build it bigger than you think you're gonna need, and you'll be grateful. So down here is the big berms. So these are 4.5, 5 feet tall and 7 or 8 feet wide. And then in the low spot in the middle, I put pond liner. That way when it does fill up with water and evidently or eventually flood and go over the top, it'll run over this pond liner here and then over across the driveway. Before it was just a bunch of rocks, and it doesn't matter how big the rocks are, the water will move them. It's pretty amazing on how much force and strength water has. So we threw this pond liner over the top, and then if it does overflow again, it'll just go over the top of the pond liner without eroding this area. I think we're going to build up the berms way up over the sides on both ends too, and turn this into a large pond, and then throw some solar powered aerators in it one day. Maybe have fish in here too. Actually, no, we will have fish in here because we'll have to do, the fish will help with any kind of insect larvae that like to grow in stagnant water. So I guess that's it for today. I just wanted to do a semi-quick overview that turned into a longer video. Show you guys what we've been up to. Still alive. You know, God willing, everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, pop those in down below. Give us a thumbs up. And as always, keep building and try to be good to each other. Some of us aren't here for very long, and a little bit of kindness will go a long ways. So God bless you all, and peace. Ah, beautiful.